I heard my mother-in-law talking in the kitchen. When are you going to get rid of that one and make things official with Adriana? My 5-month-old son was in my arms. I had just finished giving him his bottle. And there, on the other side of the wall, I heard my husband respond with something that destroyed me from the inside. I met Raphael when I was 24 at a graduation party. One of those big college parties. You know, with lots of people. Loud music. Everyone celebrating. I was there with some friends, kind of keeping to myself, because I was always that quieter girl, more insecure, like, I never thought I was pretty or anything. I was always chubby, always had issues with my body, and I grew up thinking no man would ever really love me. You know how it is. My dad had died when I was 16. It was really hard. And my mom had to raise me and my 2 brothers alone, working 2 jobs, cleaning houses, doing whatever came up. We didn't have much, but we had love, right? My mom always said that. But I grew up with this thing in my head that I should be grateful for any attention a guy gave me, because who would want to date me, right? A fat girl, no father, no money. Then at that party, girl, he showed up. Raphael was gorgeous, really gorgeous. One of those guys you look at and think, he probably won't even look at me. Tall, light eyes kind of greenish, perfect smile like those toothpaste commercials, hair styled with gel. He worked as a bank manager, had a black Civic from that year, wore dress shirts even on weekends, spoke really well, you know, that successful man vibe. I was there in my corner with my friends when he crossed the entire party and came to talk to me. To me, girl. I looked to the side thinking he meant someone else. Hi, I'm Raphael, he said, smiling. I've been watching you here and you're different from all these girls. There's something special about you that caught my attention. I almost died right there. My heart was racing. My hands started sweating. We talked all night. He asked for my number. He texted me the next day at 9 a.m. Good morning, beautiful. I dreamed about you. I fell in love right then. Who wouldn't? The first 6 months were like a fairy tale. Like something from a movie, you know. He picked me up from work every single day at 6 p.m. sharp, always with a smile, sometimes bringing flowers, red roses he bought at the flower shop near the bank. He'd take me to fancy restaurants I'd never been to in my life. Those places with cloth napkins and waiters in ties. He paid for everything, never let me pay for anything. A real man pays for his woman's bills, he'd say. I felt like a princess. He met my mom in the 2nd month of dating, brought her a box of chocolates, talked really nicely, super polite. My mom was enchanted. This boy is good, honey. He's hardworking. He's serious. You got lucky, she'd say. My brothers liked him too. Tiago, who's the oldest, said, Finally you found a decent guy. But there was one person who didn't like him. Jessica, my best friend since high school. We were inseparable, you know. Those friends who do everything together, who know all each other's secrets. She frowned the first time she met Raphael. We were at a mall. He had gone to the bathroom. And she turned to me and said quietly, I don't know, girl. He's kind of too intense, isn't he? Always calling you. Always wanting to know where you are. I laughed at her. Oh, Jessica, you're exaggerating. He's caring. He loves me, I said. She made a strange face but didn't say anything else. I even thought she was jealous of me, that I had gotten a good boyfriend and she was still single. How wrong I was, girl. How wrong I was. After 6 months of dating, on a Saturday night, Raphael took me to that same restaurant from the first time, you know, the one he took me to in the beginning. There was soft music playing, candles on the table, the whole romantic thing. In the middle of dinner, he stood up, knelt beside me with a red velvet box in his hand. I started crying before he even said anything. Will you marry me? He asked. I couldn't even speak, just nodded yes. The ring was beautiful, a white gold band with 3 small stones. Everyone in the restaurant applauded. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world, like that feeling of, wow, this is really happening to me. His mom, Mrs. Marcia, cried when he told her, hugged me and said, Welcome to the family, sweetheart. I didn't have a father to walk me down the aisle, but my brother Tiago offered. We scheduled the wedding for the following year, October 2019, a date I thought was beautiful. The preparations were rushed, right? But I was on cloud 9. I chose the dress at a shop downtown, a beautiful white dress with lace, open back, small train. It cost $4,500 that I saved up working as a secretary at a clinic for 2 years, putting away $300 a month. When I tried on that dress for the first time in the fitting room, I cried. The saleswoman said, "You look beautiful, like a princess." I really felt that way. Raphael paid for the party, a simple but nice buffet at a hall near his house, white and pink decorations, 80 guests. He insisted on inviting more people from his side than mine. "My family is big, right, babe?" he justified. "That's fine," I thought. "The important thing is, we'll be together." I got married on October 12, 2019, on a beautiful sunny Saturday, blue sky without a single cloud. I walked down that aisle on my brother's arm, my mom crying in the first row, all my friends emotional. Raphael looked handsome in his navy blue suit, crying too. The ceremony was beautiful. When the officiant said, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," I felt like my life had truly begun. Finally, I was going to have my family, my home. I was going to be happy forever, right? That's what I thought. The party was great. Everyone danced, ate, drank. Jessica was there. She hugged me tight before leaving and whispered in my ear, "Whatever happens, I'm here." I thought it was strange for her to say that, but I was so happy I didn't even think about it. The honeymoon was in Napa Valley. We stayed at a nice hotel there in wine country. Those hotels with a fireplace in the room, continental breakfast, you know. The first 3 days were perfect. We walked through the vineyards, took pictures everywhere, had wine tastings. That whole thing with a couple in love. It was on the 4th day that it started. We were at the hotel restaurant having dinner. I asked the waiter to take a picture of us. He was friendly, about 25 years old or so, and made a little joke while taking the photo. Something like, "Beautiful couple, huh? The husband's lucky." Normal, right? Waiters always say those things. But when he left, Raphael completely changed. He pulled me by the arm hard, squeezing, those fingers digging into my arm. "Are you trying to flirt with the guy right in front of me?" he hissed very quietly in my ear, but with an anger in his voice I'd never heard. I didn't understand anything, like my brain didn't process what was happening. "Honey, it was just a photo. What's wrong?" I said, trying to laugh, thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't. He squeezed my arm harder. "You're giggling at the guy, acting interested, embarrassing me. You just got married and you're already acting like a slut," he said. "Girl?" I froze. I started shaking. My eyes filled with tears right there in the middle of the restaurant. "Raphael, I didn't do anything. I just asked for a photo," I tried to say, but he cut me off. "Shut up. Let's go to the room." He got up, threw money on the table and left. I went after him almost running, embarrassed by people looking. In the room I cried so much. He stayed on his phone without looking at me. I went to the bathroom and stayed there sitting on the floor, crying quietly, with my hand on my arm where he had squeezed. It was already turning purple. I thought, what did I do? Did I really flirt with the waiter without realizing it? I started blaming myself, you know. In the morning, he knocked on the bathroom door where I had slept on the floor, exhausted. "Babe, I'm sorry. I overreacted. I know. It's just that I love you so much. I get jealous. You're so beautiful, I'm afraid of losing you," he said with that sweet voice. I opened the door. He had a breakfast tray, rolls, jam, juice, coffee. "Forgive me. I promise it'll never happen again." He hugged me. I believed him, right? It was our honeymoon. He was stressed from so much stuff. Weddings wear everyone out. I forgave him, but that stayed stored inside me, a tiny discomfort I tried to ignore. When we came back from the trip and moved into his rented apartment, a 2-bedroom place in a nice neighborhood, things started changing slowly. At first, I didn't really notice, you know. It was like fog descending little by little. He started commenting on my clothes. I'd go out to the grocery store in jean shorts and he'd say, "Go change those shorts. They're too short. Everything's showing." I'd say, "Honey, they're normal shorts. They're in style." Him, "I don't want my wife going out on the street looking like trash. Go change." At first I'd argue, but he'd give me the silent treatment all day, stop talking to me, and I'd give in to have peace. I started wearing longer Bermudas, pants, knee-length skirts. Then came the neckline issue. That neckline is too open. You're drawing attention. Don't you respect that you're married? I started wearing more closed blouses, even in summer, sweating but afraid of him getting mad. Then came the phone issue. One night I was on the couch on WhatsApp, talking to Jessica, and he sat next to me. "Give me your phone," he asked. "Why?" I asked. "I want to see who you're talking to." I gave it, kind of embarrassed. He started reading all my conversations, with Jessica, with my mom, with my work colleagues. Took about 20 minutes. I just sat there not knowing what to do. When he finished, he said, "Marriage is transparency. We can't have secrets from each other. Every day before bed, you'll give me your phone for me to check." I thought it was strange, but he said it in such a confident way, like that was normal, that I accepted. It became routine. Every day at 10 p.m., I'd hand him my phone. But when I asked to see his, he freaked out. "You don't trust me? I pay the bills here. I give you a good life. I support you, and you're accusing me?" I was startled by his reaction. "No, honey. I trust you. I'm sorry," I said. Never asked again. But that nagging feeling stayed, you know. Going out with Jessica started getting difficult. Every time I said I was going to meet her, he'd make a face. "That friend of yours is a gossip. She's putting ideas in your head, wants to break us up," he'd say. "It's not like that, Raphael. Jessica has been my friend forever," I'd defend. But he insisted so much, made such a big deal, that I started canceling meetings with her. I'd make excuses. "Sorry, Jess, I'm tired. Let's do it next weekend." She'd find it strange, would call me worried. But I kept distancing myself from her. From other friends, too. He didn't like any of them. My mom would call to talk and he'd roll his eyes, make comments. "Doesn't your mom have anything to do? She keeps bothering you." I started answering her calls hidden in the bathroom, quietly. And that's how, girl, I ended up alone. I only had him. A year after the wedding, October 2020, I found out I was pregnant. I took the drugstore test on a Saturday morning. 2 lines appeared. I almost screamed with joy. We always talked about wanting kids. He said he wanted 2, a boy and a girl. I waited for him to get home from work to tell him. I made a special dinner, lit candles, put on some music. When he sat down, I handed him the test inside a little box. He opened it, looked, stayed silent. And then he looked at me with a look I'll never forget. It was contempt, girl. Pure contempt. "You did this on purpose to trap me," he said coldly. I was in shock. "What? Raphael? We're married. We always wanted kids, you used to say." I tried to speak, but I was trembling. He got up from the table, threw the test in the sink. "Well, I don't want it. You're going to take care of this." It took a few seconds for me to understand what he was saying. He wanted me to get rid of the baby. I started crying. "I'm not doing that, Raphael. It's our child." He came close to me, too close, that intimidating way. "You'll do what I'm telling you." I pressed against the wall. "I won't," I said, "and I don't even know where I got the courage." He punched the wall next to my head, made a hole in the drywall. I felt the wind from the punch pass right by my face. "You're going to do it!" he yelled. I crouched down, ran under his arm, and locked myself in the bedroom. He left the house, slamming the door so hard that the living room picture fell and broke. I went 3 days without hearing from him. 3 days crying, not eating right, calling and it going to voicemail. Until he came back on a Wednesday at 4 a.m., drunk, smelling like alcohol and cigarettes. He came into the bedroom, lay down, and slept. The next day, he acted like nothing had happened. But I already knew. I had to have that baby alone. The pregnancy was the worst period of my life. He didn't go to any prenatal appointments with me, not one. My mom took me. I'd go alone to do ultrasounds, alone to hear the little heartbeat, alone to find out it was a boy. I chose the name Pedro alone, too. He didn't even want to give his opinion. He complained about my body changing. "You're getting fat and ugly. I can't even stand to look at you," he'd say. Me at 5, 6 months pregnant, sick with nausea, with back pain, and him going out all perfumed at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at night. "I'm meeting some work friends," he'd say. He'd come back in the early morning. I started seriously suspecting. It was one night when he was really drunk, came home at 3 a.m. stumbling. He left his phone on the kitchen table and went to sleep in his clothes. I was lying in bed, my heart beating hard, my hands shaking. But I got up. I went to the kitchen. I grabbed his phone. It had a password. I tried his birth date. Wrong. I tried our wedding date. Wrong. I tried his mom's birth date. It opened. My heart almost jumped out of my mouth. I opened WhatsApp. First conversation. Dry with a red heart next to it. I opened it. Oh my God. There were intimate photos of her, those lingerie photos. There were photos of him too. Love messages. "My prince, I miss you so much. Can't wait until we can finally be together for good." He responded, "Soon, my love. Soon I'll get rid of that pregnant whale and we'll be together." That message was from 2 weeks ago. There was more. Them planning trips, hotels, him sending her money through the app. While I was pregnant, struggling, he was spending money on his mistress. I photographed everything with my phone, my hand shaking so much that some photos came out blurry. I photographed about 50 messages. I went back to the bedroom. I woke him up. "Raphael, wake up, wake up." He opened his glazed eye. "What? Who's Dree?" His expression changed instantly. He jumped up, still kind of stumbling but with his eyes wide open. He came at me, pushed me. I was 7 months pregnant, girl. He pushed me. I fell sitting on the bed. "You went through my phone? You crazy bitch! You whore!" I started screaming. "I'm crazy? You're cheating on me and I'm crazy?" He covered my mouth with his hand, hard. I couldn't breathe. I bit his hand. He took his hand away and, "Girl," he slapped me in the face. A hard slap. The sound echoed in the silent room. My face turned to the side with the force. I fell sitting again, with my hand on my face, feeling it burn, sting. He stood there, his eyes widened for a second. But soon his face went back to being hard, cold. "You made me lose control. It's your fault for provoking me." He grabbed his phone from the nightstand where I had left it and went to sleep on the couch. I stayed all night there, sitting on the bed with my face burning, with Pedro moving in my belly, and me rubbing my belly and crying quietly so I wouldn't wake him up. The next day, Sunday morning, he woke up, made coffee like nothing had happened, put the cups on the table, toast, butter, came to the bedroom. "Good morning, babe. Come have coffee." I looked at him in disbelief. "Raphael, you hit me yesterday. You pushed me pregnant." He sighed, in that tired way. "Babe, you were hysterical. Pregnant women get hormones out of whack, I understand. You went through my phone, invaded my privacy, started screaming in the middle of the night. I was just trying to calm you down." "And Dree?" He sat on the bed next to me. "Forget that conversation. That Dree is just a work colleague who was hitting on me. I didn't respond to anything you saw. You're the one who's pregnant, hormonal, imagining things." Girl, he spoke with so much firmness, with so much calmness, that I started thinking maybe I had understood it wrong. But I had seen the messages. Had I misinterpreted? That's the tactic, right? Gaslighting. They make you doubt your own sanity. And with me, it worked. I stayed there confused, not knowing what was real. Pedro was born on July 15th, 2021, on a Wednesday afternoon. 12 hours of labor, natural birth. The strongest pain I'd ever felt in my life. But when they put him on my chest, girl, it was all worth it. He was perfect. Tiny, 7 pounds, black hair, little eyes closed. I cried with emotion. Raphael showed up at the hospital only around 6 p.m., when everything was already over. I had called him about 10 times during labor. None answered. When he walked into the room, he was perfumed. Different perfume from what he wore. Smelled like women's perfume. He looked at Pedro in the bassinet, gave 2 pats on my head like congratulations, and sat on the room couch on his phone. Mrs. Marcia came, stayed half an hour, thought the baby was cute, but said she had an appointment and left. "She's busy, right, babe? You understand?" Raphael justified. "That's fine. I thought. The important thing is my son was born healthy. At home with Pedro, it was chaos. He cried all night. I didn't know what to do. I was a first-time mom. Raphael slept in the TV room with the air conditioning on and the door closed. I work. I need to rest. You're the one who wanted this kid, he'd say. I spent the early mornings alone, walking around the house with Pedro in my arms, exhausted, crying along with him. I had postpartum depression. I know that now. But at the time I didn't know. I just felt like everything was too heavy, that I couldn't handle anything. I had no desire to eat, no desire to shower. I stayed in pajamas all day. Raphael complained. You look like a rag. Don't even get dressed up anymore. You're even bad at being a mother. Those words entered my head and kept echoing. That's when Jessica reappeared in my life. She had tried to talk to me about 50 times during pregnancy. I never answered. Sent text messages saying everything was fine, just busy. But she didn't give up. On a Thursday at 3 p.m., she simply showed up at my door, rang the doorbell. I opened it. I had been in pajamas for about 3 days, my greasy hair tied in a ponytail, Pedro in my arms crying, the house a mess with dirty clothes scattered around, baby bottles in the sink. She looked at me and her eyes filled with tears. Girl, what did he do to you? She came in, hugged me, took Pedro in her arms, managed to calm him down, got him to sleep. She sat with me on the couch, and I broke down. I told her everything. The cheating, the slap, the control, the isolation, the loneliness, the fear. She held my hand and cried with me. You need to get out of this house. This isn't a marriage. This is prison. I'm going to help you. But I was scared. I told her, Jess, what if he takes Pedro from me? He has money to pay for a good lawyer. What if no one believes me? What if they say I'm really crazy? She held my face. You're not crazy. You're being manipulated, abused. We'll figure it out. But you need to want out. I said I did. But truthfully, I was still afraid to take the step. The last straw, the moment that changed everything, was on a Sunday in December 2021. Pedro was 5 months old. Raphael had arranged for us to have lunch at Mrs. Marcia's house, something he never did, but she had insisted. We went. I took Pedro. His things, diapers, bottles, all that stuff. Getting there, her house was big, fancy, with a maid and everything. She made this super elaborate lunch. During lunch, she barely looked at Pedro, barely talked to me. After lunch, she called Raphael to go to the kitchen to get dessert. I stayed in the living room giving Pedro his bottle, and then I heard it. The kitchen was near the living room, and they probably didn't think I'd hear, but I heard every word. When are you going to get rid of that one and make things official with Adriana? Mrs. Marcia asked. My blood froze. I stopped moving. Pedro drinking his bottle and me frozen. Calm down, Mom. I'm just waiting for the baby to grow a little more. Let him get to 6 months, 1 year. Then I'll make up that she's crazy, get custody of him, kick her out and marry Dree. You'll love her. She's way better than that one. Mrs. Marcia laughed. She laughed, girl. Yeah, son, that one you got is really no good. Fat, ugly, whiny. At least she gave you a grandson. I heard all of that. Every word. His mother knew about the cheating. His mother was an accomplice. They were planning to take my son from me. I got up, grabbed Pedro's bag, put him in the car seat, shaking. Raphael and Mrs. Marcia came back from the kitchen with dessert, flan. Leaving already? She asked with a fake, concerned face. Yeah, I'm feeling sick. We're going. Raphael didn't even argue. He got in the car, took me home, and was about to leave again. Going to the store, he said. But I knew he was going to meet his mistress. As soon as he left, I called my brother Tiago. He answered. I need you, now. My voice was shaking. What happened? I told him everything, crying, stumbling over my words. He said, I'm coming. Don't leave. I'm coming to get you. He lived 40 minutes away by car. He got there in 25. Rang the doorbell. I opened it with Pedro in my arms and a backpack on my back with some of my and his clothes. Raphael had come back, was in the living room. He saw my brother. What are you doing here? My brother is big, 6'3", strong. He came in. I came to get my sister and my nephew. She's leaving. Raphael tried to grab me by the arm. You're not taking my son. My brother got right in his face. Get your hands off her. She's not your property. Neither is Pedro. Back off. His voice was firm, even scary. Raphael backed off. I left that house with Pedro in my arms, only with that backpack, left everything there. Clothes, shoes, documents, everything. I just wanted to get out. My brother took me straight to my mom's house. When I got there, my mom opened the door and saw the state I was in. I had lost about 30 pounds, had deep dark circles, purple from being so tired, my hands shaking. My daughter, my God, what did he do to you? She hugged me and we cried. Why didn't you tell me before, honey? I couldn't explain. Shame, fear, foolish hope that he'd change. That thing of thinking I had to endure it because I was married, because I had a child, because otherwise they'd judge me. I don't know, girl. It's so hard to explain why we stay so long in a situation like that. I stayed at my mom's house. She fixed up the little room that used to be mine when I was single, set up a crib for Pedro there. My brothers gave me total support. Jessica went there every day. She was the one who took me to a lawyer that an acquaintance of hers had recommended, specialized in domestic violence and family law. Dr. Anna, her name. I got to her office on a Monday morning, Pedro at 6 months in my arms. She received me really well, gave me water, waited for me to calm down. Tell me everything from the beginning. Take your time. And I told her. Everything. From the honeymoon to the day I left the house. It took about 2 hours telling. She was taking notes. At the end she said, "Do you have proof? Messages? Photos?" I showed her the screenshots I had taken of his conversations with his mistress that early morning. She took her phone and photographed everything. This here is gold. We're going to use it. You need to do some things urgently. File a police report, request a protective order, and we're going to file for contested divorce requesting sole custody of Pedro. I did everything she told me. I went to the women's police station on a Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, a date I'll remember forever. The detective who helped me was super attentive. I told her everything, showed her the photos I had of the bruises on my arm from when he squeezed me on our honeymoon, which I had taken at the time without even knowing why. I guess intuition. Showed her the screenshots. She registered everything. Gave me a copy of the police report. You were very brave to come here. Many women don't come, she said. I left there feeling a mix of relief and fear. Relief to have made it official, to have a paper proving I wasn't making anything up. Fear of what would happen next. The protective order came out in a week. Raphael was notified that he couldn't come near me or Pedro, had to stay 200 meters away. He freaked out, of course. Started sending me threatening messages on WhatsApp. You're going to regret this. I'm going to prove you're crazy, and I'm going to take that kid from you. You're not a mother at all. I screenshotted everything and sent it to Dr. Anna. She'd say, keep screenshotting. All of this is going to help us. He created fake Instagram profiles to follow me, to see what I was posting. I'd block one, he'd create another. My mom had to change the locks on her house because we were afraid he'd show up there. The divorce process started in January 2022. It was long, girl. Very long and very exhausting. He hired an expensive lawyer, one of those lawyers who defend rich men. His lawyer's strategy was to disqualify me as a mother and as a person. He made up that I used drugs, that I drank, that I was aggressive with Pedro, that I had affairs with several men. Lie after lie. They requested a social investigation. A social worker came to my mom's house, saw how I treated Pedro, saw his room all fixed up, saw that I was taking good care of him. In her report it said, the mother demonstrates a healthy emotional bond with the infant and presents adequate conditions to exercise custody. That gave me such relief that I cried when Dr. Anna read it to me. But he didn't give up. He requested that I undergo psychological evaluation, like trying to prove I was crazy. I went through 3 sessions with a court psychologist. She did tests, talked to me, asked me questions. I told her everything, showed her everything. She also evaluated him. In her final report, which came out in June 2022, There was a sentence I memorized. The petitioner presents traits compatible with narcissistic personality disorder, including emotional manipulation behaviors, lack of empathy, and excessive need for control. The respondent presents signs of trauma resulting from psychological and physical violence, but demonstrates capacity to exercise motherhood adequately. Girl, when I read that, I cried so much. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't making anything up. There was an official document signed by a psychologist saying he was the problem, not me. That was my validation, you know. Years hearing that I was crazy, that I exaggerated, that I was hormonal, that I had the problem, and then an official report comes saying, no, she was right all along. There was a conciliation hearing in August 2022. I had to be in the same room as him. He arrived in a suit, all dressed up with that cynical smile. I was trembling. My lawyer held my hand under the table. The judge tried to conciliate, but there was no way. He didn't accept any proposal that wasn't joint custody and free visitation. I didn't accept free visitation. It had to be supervised visitation because I was afraid of what he could do to Pedro. There was no agreement. The process continued. It was months and months of hearings, gathering documents, evidence. I submitted the screenshots of conversations with his mistress. I submitted the bank transfer history that I got through the bank, showing he was sending money to someone named Adriana, while not giving enough money to buy diapers for his own son. I submitted messages of him insulting me. I submitted the police report. I submitted testimonies from Jessica, who served as a witness, talking about how he isolated me. My mom also testified, talking about the state I arrived at her house in. His lawyer tried to disqualify everything, saying I had manipulated the evidence, that Jessica was my friend, so she was suspect. All those things. But the judge didn't buy it. The divorce sentence came out on August 23, 2023. Almost 2 years after I left the house. I was at my mom's house when Dr. Anna called me. The sentence came out. You won. I started crying before she even said anything else. Sole custody for you. He'll have the right to bi-weekly supervised visitation while Pedro is under 5 years old. After that, we review. Child support of $2,800 per month. And the judge determined he must maintain health insurance for Pedro, too. Girl, I broke down. I fell on the kitchen floor and cried. My mom came, hugged me. We cried together. Pedro, who was already a little over 2 years old, came to hug me too without understanding anything. Mommy crying? He asked with that little voice. Mommy's happy, my love. Very happy. Rafael appealed the decision, of course, but his appeal was denied. The sentence became final in November 2023. I was officially divorced, officially free, but he almost never picks up Pedro for visits. Of the 24 visits he was entitled to per year, he must have picked him up about 6 times. Always makes excuses. He's traveling for work, he has an appointment, he's sick. The truth is, he never wanted to be a father. He just wanted to control me. And when he lost control, he lost interest. I heard through the mom of one of his ex-colleagues at the bank that he's living with Dree now. I also heard, through the same gossip chain, that she's already complained to her friends that he's very controlling, very jealous, that he goes through her phone. The cycle continues with another victim, right? But it's not with me anymore. And I pray that she can get out before suffering everything I suffered. Today, here in October 2025, I'm 30 years old. It feels like I was reborn, you know? I went back to school. I'm doing a graduate degree in psychology online. I want to help other women who go through this. I want to work with victims of domestic violence. I know what it is. I went through it. I can help. Pedro is 4 years old, a smart, talkative, happy little boy. He doesn't remember almost anything from that time. Sometimes he asks about his dad. I tell him the truth in a way he understands. Daddy lives far away, but he loves you. He just can't come all the time. I don't want to poison his head against his father, you know, but I'm not going to lie to him either. We live in a tiny rented apartment, 2 bedrooms, in a simple but safe neighborhood. It's tight, but it's ours. It's my space, that I decorate the way I want. I painted the walls yellow, that light yellow I always wanted and Rafael said was tacky, that it was crazy people's color. I hung colorful little paintings I bought at a street fair. Pedro's room has Spider-Man wallpaper that he chose. There are plants on the balcony. There's life, you know. There's lightness. I traveled alone with Pedro during the last vacation in January 2025. We went to the beach, a simple beach on the coast, stayed at a humble little inn. But, girl, it was so nice. Me and him playing in the sand, eating ice cream, riding paddle boats. Without having to answer to anyone, without having to be afraid of doing something wrong. I took a picture of us at the beach, both of us SM-iling, the sun setting behind us. That photo is framed in my living room. When I look at it, I see freedom. I rebuilt my friendship with Jessica, who today is Pedro's godmother. We see each other every week. She sleeps over at my place sometimes. We stay up talking late, just like old times. I got back in close contact with my family. Sunday lunch at my mom's house with my brothers, with my nephews and nieces. Tiago always hugs me tight and says, "You're a warrior, sis." And I'm even going out with a guy, Lucas, who I met in grad school. He's a public school teacher, good people, easygoing. We're taking it slow, no rush, but he treats me well, respects me, asks my opinion about things, doesn't go through my phone, doesn't control what I wear. And this is so different, so light, that sometimes I can't even believe this exists. On that day in September 2024, almost a year after the divorce came through, I did something I needed to do. I took my wedding dress, which was stored in a plastic bag in my mom's closet, took all the printed photos from the wedding I had, and took everything to my mom's backyard. Pedro was at school. My mom was inside the house. I put the dress on the ground, poured rubbing alcohol on it, struck the match. The fire started small, then grew, those orange and yellow flames rising, devouring the white fabric, the lace, that dress that had once been my dream. The photos I threw one by one into the fire, me crying, but it was crying of relief, you know. Each photo I threw, I felt like I was throwing a piece of the pain away. The photo from the ceremony, the photo of the first kiss as a married couple, the photo with his family, everything turning to ash, smoke rising. Pedro came home from school that day, saw the little bonfire still smoking in the backyard. "Mommy, what were you burning?" I crouched down to his height, held his little face in my hands. Mommy was burning some old things that don't work anymore. You know when you have a broken toy that can't be fixed anymore and we have to throw it away to make room for a new toy? He nodded. It's kind of like that. Sometimes we need to let old things go so new things can come. He hugged my leg, that tight child hug. "I love you, Mommy." And at that moment, girl, in that hug, I knew, I was absolutely certain, that I had made the right choice. The choice to leave, to fight, to rebuild. It was worth every tear, every sleepless night, every hearing, every fear. It was all worth it. Today I look in the mirror and I see a different woman from the one who got married in 2019. That insecure girl who thought she didn't deserve love, who accepted any crumbs, died. In her place was born a woman who knows her worth, who doesn't accept disrespect, who isn't afraid to be alone because she knows that alone is better than in bad company. I went back to wearing the clothes I want, short shorts, low necklines, whatever I want. I go out with my friends. I answer my mom without having to hide the phone. I make decisions about my life. I'm free. And if you're reading this, if you're hearing this story and some part of it is echoing inside you, if you're recognizing yourself in some little piece of my story, I need to tell you something. You are not crazy. You're not exaggerating. You're not being too sensitive, too dramatic, too jealous. It's not all in your head. Your intuition is right. That discomfort you feel in your chest, that pit in your stomach when he comes near, that fear of saying something wrong, that walking on eggshells all the time, that's not normal. Real love doesn't control. Real love doesn't isolate. Real love doesn't humiliate, doesn't hit, doesn't insult, doesn't diminish. Real love doesn't make you feel small, stupid, ugly, incapable. And there is a way out, yes. I know it seems impossible. I know you're scared of being alone, scared of not being able to support yourself, Scared of him doing something worse? Scared of losing your children? Scared of no one believing you? I had all those fears too. But on the other side of that fear, there's life. There's freedom. There's peace. There's you again. That person you were before him. Or even better, a stronger version of you. Will it hurt? Yes. Will it be hard? Very. Will there be days you'll want to give up? Definitely. But you'll make it. One step at a time, one day at a time, but you'll make it. Get help. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. It works 24 hours. Go to a police station. Find a lawyer. Tell a friend, a family member, someone you trust. You don't have to go through this alone. There are people who want to help you. I'm proof of that. My brother helped me. My mom helped me. My friend helped me. My lawyer helped me. And there are people who will help you too. I'm living proof that it's possible to start over. That it's possible to leave an abusive relationship and build a new life, a good life, a happy life. Today I wake up every day and I'm grateful for having had the courage to leave. Grateful for not giving up in the hardest moments. Grateful for being alive, for being free, for being with my son. And you can get to this place too. I believe in you. If my story touched you in any way, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Share this video with a friend you think needs to hear this. And if you went through something similar and want to tell your story here on the channel, there's a link to the form in the video description. Let's do this together, okay? None of us needs to go through this alone. A big kiss to each and every one of your hearts. And stay strong. So much strength. You can do this. From which city are you watching? Leave it in the comments.